lovely people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Otuwa, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my move to Dubai, how I moved, and also how it is now living in Dubai as an expat. So first off, I'm going to talk about how I moved to Dubai, and then I'll move into the nitty-gritties of living in Dubai as an expat in terms of my finance, my living expenses, ease of transportation, entertainment, and so on. Before we move into the video, don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe, and to share this video as well. So first, I'm going to be looking on my phone to just get the structure of the video, because I have a few things that I want to talk about and I don't want to forget. So the first thing is, how did I move to Dubai? So I moved to the UK in 2018 to study my master's at LSE, and when I moved, after 2 months I started applying for jobs because you know the job market is saturated here in the UK and also back home in Ghana. So it was very important for me to start looking for jobs quite early, because I didn't want to be late on it and end up struggling in the last minute trying to find a job. And it was crazy how many rejections that I got when I started applying for jobs. Like, I literally got rejected by almost every company that I applied to. And it was crazy for me because I felt like I had experience, I had worked with the Big Four, I had a good master's degree from a good university. My undergraduate university was also really good. So, you know, it was quite depressing seeing all the rejections from different companies. But I feel like that's one thing a lot of people do not see. A lot of people do not see the struggle that you go through until you get this one breakthrough or one job that you are happy with. A lot of people see just the good side of things and just jump into conclusions about how you went about your life or how you achieved things in your life. But trust me, it's a lot of hard work. 2 months into school, I was applying for jobs and I finally got a job all the way in, I think, around June of 2019. So imagine, from October or November 2018 all the way to June 2019, I was applying for jobs, going for interviews, getting rejected here and there. And I had to constantly renew my mind, constantly review my strategy for my applications, and that's one thing that you guys need to all look at. So I'm currently working for Falcon, and it's a company in Dubai, and what I'm doing is a program which is a 9-month program in Dubai for the Dubai Business Associates, and you basically get trained. It's tuned for people who want to be consultants or who want to have experience working in Dubai. So that's one thing that I do encourage anyone who is in their undergraduate or postgraduate studies looking for a job or looking for experience working in Dubai, or looking to, you know, move into the consulting field. It's something that I think you should apply for. It's also currently open, so do check out. I'll try and leave the link to the job in the description box below, so do check it out and apply for the job if you're looking for something in that light. So I applied for this job, I think, around May. How I got to know about the job was I went for career services events in LSE, and that's one thing every student needs to go for. Try and go for all the career services events, make connections, meet people, talk to people, try and inquire more about the jobs that are available. Also, show them that you're well read, show them that you've read about the company, show them that you have interest in the company, because that's one of the things that I did that helped me with this job particularly. So I went for the career services events. I met the director for the program. I had a conversation with him, and I tried to leave a good lasting first impression, because that really helps when it comes to moving you to the next stage as well. Because honestly, there's this pyramid that is drawn and shows how people get jobs, and you realize that job applications are actually the least or the worst route to take when it comes to finding a job. Knowing people and networking is always at the top, so it's very important for you to meet people and network as much as possible, and that will help you to land the dream job that you're looking for. So yeah, I moved, I got the job. I went for 2 interviews. The first interview was like a preliminary interview where you talk to the HR, one of the HR employees. You have conversations with them about yourself, and you go into more details. You know, you don't go into as much detail as the second interview, where they really probe you and push you and try and get to know what kind of knowledge you have and what kind of behavioral traits you have, and see if they are aligned with the company. So researching about the job is very important, and also reaching out to people who are already working in the particular job that you're looking for, reach out to people on LinkedIn. Don't just send them flimsy messages, send them very personalized messages, and then also try and build a connection with them as well. Don't just have this take attitude when it comes to networking. Try and find a way that you can also give to people as well, so that the relationship is mutual, and then you can also equally benefit as much as they are benefiting as well. So yeah, I did all of that, and then finally I got the job because I had networked, I had met people already on the program, I had done my research as well, and I was very bold and confident in the interviews. I practiced with my boyfriend, with my friends, and that's one thing you should also try and do, practice as much with people. So I practiced for the job, I practiced for the interviews, and then finally I got into the program in June. I think it's actually June, late June, and I had to start planning and start seeing how I can move, working on visas, etc. And one thing that was funny was when I started applying for jobs, I never thought I was going to move outside the UK. I was literally focusing on the UK, which is one mistake that I did, and that's one thing I want everybody to know. Try and look at other countries. Don't limit yourself to one country. Your exposure is important, and look for exposure everywhere. So imagine I started applying for jobs for UK and I ended up in Dubai, which is crazy. I still don't believe it up to today, but yeah. So I got the job and I started planning to move to Dubai, and I remember it was a huge struggle because I was trying to find videos, I was trying to look for things, you know, to help me prepare to move to Dubai, and I didn't find as much information, and that's why I'm doing this video, just to help anyone who is moving out to a new country, especially to the UAE. So now I'm going to dive right into the living here in Dubai, just to give you an overview of how it is here and to help you plan if you ever intend on living or moving to Dubai or the UAE. I feel like Dubai is slightly different from the other cities in the UAE. That's why I keep focusing on Dubai, which is where I live. So the first thing is people and how expats are also treated. So generally, Dubai is a very diverse city in the UAE. Honestly, it's the most diverse place I've ever been to. I thought the UK or London was quite diverse, but the UAE is extremely diverse. And the difference that I think that I've seen between the UAE and the UK is that the UK is more tolerating of other cultures and the UAE is more embracing of other cultures. I feel like people are very welcoming, people are very open to learn about you and to learn about your culture. There's a once in a while, can we take a picture with you things that happen, especially I went to the beach and that happened, and also in the souk. The souk is like the marketplace. I went there with my friends and it was literally, people were calling me so many interesting names. They call me Beyonce, Shakira, Brown Sugar, and I honestly didn't take offense to that because it was funny. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say that has happened in terms of my skin color, but generally I don't feel different. Generally I don't feel as different as I felt when I was in the UK. So yeah, that's one thing that is a good plus when it comes to diversity and how embracing they are of people from diverse cultures. And you're gonna meet so many people. I did my internship with one of the big banks in Dubai, and I literally work with people from all over the world, like literally all over the world. And it was so interesting how people treated each other. There was mutual respect. There was a lot of interest in learning about each other as well, which is one thing that I really love about Dubai. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is ease of transportation. So in Dubai, there's people mostly travel by either owning a car, renting a car, or ordering a taxi or a Careem, which is like the Uber of Dubai. And then there's also the trains, the metro. I've never used a bus. There are buses, but I've never used a bus because I don't even know where to get a bus from. But because of where I live in Dubai, the metro is really accessible to me, but I know it's not really accessible at other points of Dubai. The metro system is not, the train system is not as developed as here in the UK. So in Dubai, it's not as developed as London, so it's not really easy to get a train in some areas of Dubai. You have to walk quite a distance to reach the train station. But where I live is quite convenient. I live right next to a train station, which is very convenient for my movement. And Careems, which is Uber and taxis, I feel like they are quite expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite expensive to move from one point to another. Actually, let me just quickly check how much I used to pay for. I used to pay around 27 dirhams to get to work and around 40 dirhams to get back home. And I'm gonna just quickly check the distance for you guys so that you have a better overview of what it was. Alright, so I just checked on Google Maps. So for about a 14-minute drive from my apartment to my workplace, I was paying 27 dirhams for transportation, and then I was also paying about 40 dirhams for coming back home because it was normally the peak hours when I was coming back home. And so yeah, it's quite expensive to move around in Dubai. I know renting a car could be much easier, especially if you're going to live in Dubai long term, because the license is very expensive as well. So if you have a license that is accepted in Dubai, then renting a car is slightly easier or cheaper option for you. But if you don't have the license, trust me, the license is expensive. So yeah, the next thing I'll talk about is entertainment. So Dubai does have a lot of entertaining places to visit, not just places as well, but events happening all over the place. It's literally event filled, and there are so many apps that help you find events pertaining to your interests. You know, so many groups that meet, so many networking sessions for you to meet people and for you to, you know, just network and find new people, make new friends, hang out, do stuff that you want to do. And I feel like there's literally everything. Literally, there's everything that you can think of, every hobby that you can think of available in Dubai. Honestly, there's everything. I feel like it's really a hub for a lot of things. So it's really it's somewhere that I think you would have a lot of fun if you're open to it. It can get a bit plasticky because most of the things are created and not like natural stuff, but yeah, it's as long as it's available, I think it's good. So yeah, then now in terms of money, I'm just going to show you guys, not show you guys, but just let you guys know where most of my money goes into when it comes to living in Dubai. So because of the current program that I am on, I don't pay for rent, but I know if I was paying for rent would take a huge chunk of my salary for the month. So I would say rent is the number one, because housing can be quite expensive in Dubai based on my research. I'll put a few figures on the bottom side of the video just for you to see a range of housing for Dubai, for living in Dubai, because they're the rich sides and they're the normal everyday people sides of Dubai as well, where you can live. In terms of other costs, I know most of my costs go into groceries and transportation. Those are my two biggest costs, and also phone bills, funny enough. So phone bills for me, I bought a bundle when I got to Dubai that was for 1 year. The good thing was I got for a discount because it was during the time where they were giving off a lot of discounts to be able to attract people to join Virgin and DU and stuff. So yeah, I got a huge discount for my phone bills, but it's still expensive. And because I paid upfront, I don't see the effects in the recurring months or in the next months, so I can't really talk about that. But food and transportation, and when I say food, I also include sort of entertainment. Actually, let me just say entertainment, food and transportation are the most expensive things on my list. And Dubai is expensive, I'm not gonna lie. Shopping is expensive, buying groceries is expensive, going out is expensive, and transportation is expensive. I feel like I've said expensive like 10 times already, but that is the truth. Even though I try and shop in cheaper places like Carrefour and actually I only know Carrefour for now in Dubai, I still feel like things are really overpriced. So what I try and do is look for ingredients that are more easily available in Dubai, so would be on the cheaper side, than look for more foreign ingredients. And also in terms of groceries, it's sometimes you really need to just go to the shop, the grocery shop right next to you, and that's how I end up spending a lot on groceries, because I end up buying things I don't need, and things are quite more expensive when it comes to those shops compared to the bigger shops like Carrefour, etc. In terms of transportation, I've already mentioned that it's expensive. I travel mostly by carrying, but the metro is really cheap. That is the trains. What I do for a trip is around 3 to 5 dirhams for each trip that you take. There's no cap on the trip, so if you do a lot of rounds in one day, you're paying 3 or 5 dirhams for every round that you've done, that you take in the day. In terms of entertainment can be really expensive because especially when you need to eat food, it's expensive. But the good thing, I need to mention this, the good thing about being a woman in Dubai is you have access to all the clubs and lounges for free. Literally, there's ladies' nights every day. Like, you can find a place where there's ladies' nights where you can get free drinks, sometimes you get free food as well at these places. And yeah, as a lady, you are better off than the guys. Honestly, you're really better off than the guys when it comes to entertainment, because there's so many free options for you, and you end up not spending much on less public transportation to the place. You spend really less. I remember when my boyfriend came around, we went clubbing in one of these clubs. It's called White Dubai, and it was free for ladies, so we all, like, my friends and I got in free, but my boyfriend ended up paying around 400 dirhams. I think I need to cross-check that, but he ended up paying quite a lot to be able to enter the club. So if you're a guy, just know that you're paying for you're paying for yourself and all the other free girls that are entering the club for free. Yeah. Another thing that is very expensive for me as a black girl is my hair cost. So doing your hair in Dubai is expensive, even for the quote-unquote cheap places that you find in the Dera, which is Old Dubai. It can be quite expensive to do your hair there as well, because I paid to get a weave done. I paid 200 dirhams in Old Dubai, and in the salon that I go to currently, which is Afro Diva Salon, I really love there, I paid 250 to get this weave done in. So I don't see the difference honestly, for a fancy salon or for a cheap salon. So yeah, it's quite expensive when it comes to that, and when it comes to doing your hair in Dubai. So what I do is I try and find a hairstyle that really I'm okay with and it's low maintenance. So weaves are low maintenance for me, so I am stuck with weaves for the meantime. Okay guys, so finally I'm just going to throw a few facts that I think it's important to know when it comes to living in Dubai. The first thing that you should know is the weekends are on Friday and Saturday. So you work from Sunday all the way to Thursday, which is really new for me. I'm still not adjusted to the system. I'm still waking up on Sundays and thinking it's Monday and all of that. So just know that if you move to Dubai, your working hours are from Sunday all the way to Thursday, and then you have Friday and Saturday off as weekends. In some companies you get to close work really early, around 3 p.m. so it's really cool. It's really cool if you're like me and you want to work on a side hustle as well. So it has really good flexible hours when you're an expat working in Dubai. Another thing that you should know is some of the country rules. So Dubai is not really strict as other Middle Eastern countries. I feel like although there are rules and regulations that they follow, I feel like it's not as strict as other countries. But one thing that I'll say is it's really important for you to respect other cultures. So especially in terms of dressing as a woman, it's important for you to cover up. It's important for you to, you know, just try and cover up as much as possible. So you can definitely wear your shorts, you can definitely wear your fancy outfits or crazy outfits, but for me, I feel like it's important to respect culture and try and obey their rules as much as possible. There's also the thing about public display of affection. You should try and reduce that as much as possible when you're living in Dubai. So mainly for me, it's cover up, reduce PDA, and yeah, I think that's the two main things when it comes to embracing the culture and respecting the culture in Dubai. The next thing that I'll say is the weather is crazy in Dubai. I'm not even gonna lie about it. It hits around 40 degrees Celsius. It's really warm in Dubai, so really, like, prepare for the heat. The first time I got there, I got really dehydrated. I felt sick every time I stepped out of my apartment to try and explore places, and I realized that I needed to increase my water intake, double it properly, because you get really dehydrated and you start feeling really sick, because most of us are not used to hot temperatures like that. And it gets chilly as well. Funny enough, it gets I think the lowest I've seen so far is 15 degrees, and it's quite chilly as well. So people bring out their winter jackets during that season. But yeah, it gets really warm in Dubai, and you should definitely prepare for that as well. And the final thing I would say about Dubai is it's easy to get carried away with all the distractions and all the exciting things going on everywhere. There's always something happening every day, every weekend. Literally, you can easily get drowned into all these activities and just forget about saving, forget about other long-term goals that you have, because there's literally an exciting thing happening every day. So you need to be careful, you need to know yourself, you need to understand that this is the life, and you know, try and minimize things, or try and live as minimal as possible when you're living in Dubai. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching this video. If I have not answered any questions that you've had in your mind about moving to Dubai, leave them in the comment section and I'll try and answer all those questions, or even film a part 2 if there are a lot of questions asked in the comment section. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video and share it as well. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.